You ever see someone get thrown out of a place they built with their own two hands? Yeah, that happened, and I promise you won't forget how it ends. It started one morning when Marsha Williams, a black woman in her 40s with soft curls and a faded polo shirt, pulled into the lot of the fanciest car dealership on Rodeo Drive in her beat-up silver Honda Civic. She just wanted to buy a graduation gift for her daughter, simple as that, right? You'd think so. But she walked in and immediately felt eyes on her, like she'd wandered into a private party without an invitation. No one recognized her as the CEO and majority owner of the whole place, and honestly, she didn't want them to not today. Today, she just wanted to know how an ordinary customer would be treated in the kingdom she built from nothing. So there she is, walking past rows of brand-new BMWs and Mercedes, the air thick with soft jazz and the clink of champagne glasses, and people look at her like she's lost. Some staff just glance away, others smirk, and Derek, the floor manager, locks eyes with her, all suspicion and condescension, like he's already itching to find a reason to show her the door. No one offers to help. Nobody even greets her with the fake warmth they give other customers. And the message is clear as day. She doesn't belong here. But Marsha keeps moving, eyes on a midnight blue BMW M8, picturing the look on her daughter Jasmine's face when she hands her those keys. She's dreaming of that proud moment, her daughter fresh out of Harvard, never guessing this day will flip her entire world upside down. Just as Marsha's hand rests on the hood, Derek strides over, oozing arrogance, and says, "You know how much that car costs?" "Not exactly for everyone," he tells her, loud enough for the room to hear. Maybe she'd be better off at the Honda lot down the street. People laugh, not all at once, but enough that Marsha knows humiliation when she sees it. And, that's when the Real storm begins. Derek keeps pushing, says they don't sell cars to people like you. Brad, the hotshot sales guy, jumps in, joking about putting up a sign to keep out the riffraff. Even a few customers and staff record it on their phones, snickering, making it into a spectacle. It's not just personal, it's institutional, a lesson in exclusion for anyone watching. Marsha stands there, still and calm, feeling every sideways glance like a slap, but she refuses to shrink. She just says, "I'm here to look at a car for my daughter, same as anyone else." And here's where things twist. The youngest receptionist, Kesha, a black woman who's only been on the job a few months, sees what's happening. She's scared. You can tell she's got bills to pay, a probationary badge, everything to lose. But she steps forward and quietly says she just wants to look at cars like any customer. The room goes dead quiet. Derek barks at her to get back to work, makes it clear speaking up isn't tolerated. Still, something's changed. Marsha gives Kesha a grateful nod, and for the first time that day, hope flickers. Maybe the rules of this place aren't as set in stone as Derek thinks. But the humiliation isn't over. Derek finally calls security Tony, the guard who's seen it all, but today just looks tired. Derek's voice booms, "Get her out of here." Marsha, dignity intact, walks out while every eye in the room follows her. Some people nod in approval. Others look away, embarrassed. When Marsha gets to her car, she doesn't cry. She sits for a second, catches her breath, and pulls out her phone. She sends a message to her assistant. "Emergency board meeting. All hands now." Meanwhile, inside, Derek and Brad are high-fiving, thinking they protected the image of the place. What they don't realize is that the woman they just kicked out owns everything they see, and she's not done yet. Fast forward 1 hour. Black SUVs and polished sedans roll up to the dealership. Marsha steps out, now in a tailored suit and heels, flanked by her board members, legal counsel, and a whole crew who look like they mean business. The room freezes. Derek tries to bluff, offers a fake smile, but Marsha cuts him off. She announces, in front of everyone, that she is Marsha Williams, CEO and majority shareholder, and what happened today is going to have consequences. Margaret, the general counsel, reads out a list of policy violations, then fires Derek and Brad on the spot for discrimination and damaging the company's reputation. The staff who had sneered hang their heads. Customers who had smirked now avoid her gaze. Tony, the security guard, professional as ever, escorts the two men out. Kesha, standing behind the reception desk, watches the whole thing unfold. Tears in her eyes this time, not from fear, but relief and pride. Marcia turns to the staff and says, "I don't need people who cower or only do the bare minimum. I need people who respect others, who stand up for what's right." She tells them the culture will change starting now. Diversity training is mandatory, and anyone who can't get behind the new values can leave. Then, in a moment that changes everything, Marcia calls Kesha to the center of the room. She tells everyone that Kesha, despite being just a few months in, showed true leadership and integrity. Right there, she offers Kesha the job of general manager, with full support and training. The staff, some still shocked, break into applause. The ones who'd kept quiet now feel brave enough to clap, to believe real change is possible. Kesha can barely speak. She's so moved, but you can see in her eyes that she's ready to lead. And so the showroom transforms. No more sneers, no more whispers. 3 weeks later, the place is alive with real warmth. Customers from every background get the same service. Kesha leads her team by example, and staff who once played along with exclusion now compete to show empathy and heart. Marcia comes back with her daughter Jasmine, this time as honored guests. Jasmine gets her BMW, but the bigger gift is the new spirit in the air. Every smile, every handshake, every genuine thank you. Word spreads. The story hits the news, goes viral, becomes a business school case study. Other dealerships in Marcia's group follow her lead, and what started as a humiliating morning grows into a nationwide movement for fairness and respect. At the annual company awards, Marcia stands on stage with Jasmine and Kesha, her voice steady as she says, "Justice isn't about punishment, it's about rebuilding trust." When one person stands up, even the unshakable can change. And here's where I'll leave you, because this isn't just a story about luxury cars or even about race. It's about what we do when the door slams in our face and who we lift up when no one's watching. So what about you? If you saw someone thrown out for how they look, would you stay silent or step forward like Kesha? Ever faced injustice and wanted to do more than walk away? Let's hear your story in the comments. Justice starts with the courage to speak, and you never know whose life you might change.